Hello, my name is Sartaj Anand. I'm the founder of egomonk, and in this episode of Insightful Encounters, we meet an individual who's an angel. He represents an angel group based out of Calcutta, and he's going to talk about what the investment ecosystem and the landscape in India currently looks like. So, who are you?
I am Mainak Bhattacharya. I have lived across 13 cities, towns, shifted almost 30 times in my life, been to almost 130 cities, towns. I have a nice TripAdvisor map where I have been plotting it 4 countries. But mostly in northern India, I would like to explore the southern part of it. But mostly in the last decade or so, I have been trying to balance both sides of the startup and the investing world.
And what do you do?
So currently I run an angel investment firm called Calcutta Angels Network. It's a group of 75 angels based in Calcutta, large HNIs who are looking to invest in startups and work with them. I run the show there. Most of our investments are across the country. So it's a pure sort of startup investment play, but in terms of the value chain of incubators and angels and VCs, like that. So it's sort of the middle seat there. That's where I am, and I enjoy working in.
Why investments? Why do you do this?
Any startup trying to solve a problem or disrupting an existing solution, there are 2 parts to it, right? One is building the product itself, and that takes a lot of time and energy. On the other hand, there's also a venture building exercise of it. So in order to, as an investor, I get to see both parts of the world and how I can sort of, as I grow up the ladder as a startup, how do I manage both sides of it? So any startup failing today sort of fails on one angle of it. So that's a challenge, and that's interesting for me as a investment network to really sort out those challenges.
And what do you love about it?
If you need to thrive in this business world or career, there are fundamental cores of it is your prowess in communication and the network, right? So being an investor, I think it gives you the best opportunity to sort of dabble and exercise both of this and improve upon all of this. So I feel I'm at a very privileged position to be experiencing both of that.
Oh. So you mentioned frustrations also exist in your line of work. So what is it that you hate?
On the flip side of it, there's also a lot of insecurity in my part of the world, because if I haven't really sort of rolled up my sleeves and worked with the startups hands-on, my extent of my knowledge is a sub-aggregate of whatever I learn from my network, from my startup. So I may understand a few things from one startup and appear super intelligent working with other or talking to another startup, right? So there's a lot of insecurity amongst my fellow ecosystem players in whatever they're doing. This is one line of business where each part of the value chain, like incubators, angels, VCs, Ps, interact frequently, right? So if it's a line of business where all the value chain interacts frequently, there's also that sense of elitism or perhaps a lack of mutual respect that comes about it. So again, that's pretty prevalent in this line of work. I wish I was in that Alice in Wonderland where there is equal mutual respect for the entrepreneur, for the startup, for the investor. That would be an ideal interpersonal relationship.
But we're not there yet.
We are very far away from that.
So what's next for you?
If we have to make that ideal investment network or investor startup relationship, it's the interpersonal relationship, how you can sort of engineer that. So it's not limited to putting in systems and processes, not so simple as that. So I'm trying to sort of, what keeps me awake at night, if I have to make the sort of ideal investment network and make the ideal investments and have the ideal relationships with my entrepreneurs, with my investees, sort of how can I have a better interpersonal relationships? It's not just for me, but all the 75 angels that I carry in doing what I do.
Well, thank you so much, Mainak, for joining us. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.